everyone. I am Julie Wachowski, and I am the literacy coordinator for the PRC. I work upstairs at the end of the hall. I can help you with all your learning needs, whether you're looking to improve your English or get a driver's license, maybe gain citizenship or improve your education, get your GED. These are all things that we help students with. So if you have an interest, come on up, talk to me. I am going to talk to you today about Pinterest. Woo, Pinterest. Have any of you heard of it before?
No.
Yes.
Yes, good. This gentleman has not, and you two have. And what do you know about it?
What I know is that you can, as you're browsing through the internet or whatever, you see something you like or something you want to remember or something you want to take note of, and you could just pull it out of there and pin it somewhere in your kind of like a memo book. Is that what it is?
That is. That's
Okay.
That's originally how it was constructed. It's a form of social media, just like Facebook or Twitter. And it is, I like to think of it as crowdsourcing your visual hobbies. So not only is it a place where you can pull things out of the internet and remember them by putting them on your page, but it's a place where you can go and see what work other people have already done, and you can look at their things that they've already pinned and kind of pull it together with things you're interested in. So it's also, I think, very dangerous if you like to look at images. If you're a visual person and you enjoy magazines or photographs, that kind of stuff, Pinterest is super amazing time suck, and you can learn a lot from it. So what can you do with it? You can see anything that you can picture. So anything that you think about as visualizing, you can find on Pinterest, and you can find many examples of. For example, so say you're into cars. Ooh, I'm going to use my pointer. Say you're into cars. You can find pictures of cars, pictures of engines, pictures of tires. If you want to compare different kinds of cars, older cars and newer cars. Say you're into birds. If you're a birder, you can see images of birds. You can see pictures of birds that were painted, things that are photographs, things that people took in their backyard, and famous images by other photographers. You can see anything that is visually represented. Someone sorted it, pinned it, and it's there. So for instance, there are plans for how to plot your garden, plans for how to build a house, lots and lots of teacher resources. We'll get to that again in a minute. There are tons of things about products you can purchase, shoes, clothing, purses, cooking equipment, anything that you can think of. If you're looking for new glasses and you need an idea, if you're looking for a new hairstyle and you need an idea, Pinterest will have it. It's also a huge source for recipes. A lot of people use it for that as well. Basically, I like to think of it as making a magazine that would be just for you, whatever your interest is. So it could be clothing, it could be news, it could be things related to your work or a hobby. It could be just fun and crazy, whatever, soap opera stuff. It can be humor. There are a lot of funny quotes, funny images, and things like that on Pinterest. How do you go about setting it up? So here's the web address, pinterest.com, and here's how you can sign in. If you already have a Facebook account, you can link your Pinterest to your Facebook. So you can click on that. It will connect Facebook, your Facebook friends, and your Facebook login to your Pinterest, and the two will work together. A lot of people use that because it's easy. Or you can create an email with a password and sign up. I have a Pinterest account that I use here at work, and I created it with my email from work, and I have the login through work so that I can collect things that I use here at work. I also have one that's a personal one, and that one I do through my Facebook. So I use a slightly different name for each identity. All right, so once you log into Pinterest, this is what the page looks like when you first get in. This is my work landing page when I first go into Pinterest. So I've logged in here. It gives you the search bar, and it shows you who I am at work. At work, I'm just the letter J. That's my identity. And see the little pin right there? And then it pulls up a bunch of stuff that is the computer, that the program already thinks that I might be interested in. And this is based on searches that I've done here when I'm logged in. So these are all, each of these little streams here is called a pin, each of the boxes. And then these are like the columns of the magazine. So, you know, this is equivalent to like the page of the magazine. This is a 5-column layout on a magazine. And each of these is called a pin. And each of the pictures will give you some, like a headline that tells you about what's hidden there in that pin. Right down here, you can see the identity of the person who pinned it. So some of them, you know, some of them use images and some don't. I don't have a picture associated with my J. If I pin something, no one will see who I am because I didn't make a identity with a picture. But these people are probably also pretty popular. It's just like on Facebook. If you're popular, you are up higher in the search results. This line underneath tells you where, let's see, where in my folders these pins might either come from or go to. So they might be recommended for. So for instance, this one here is something that I pinned in a folder that I call Education. This one is pinned in a folder that I call Math Games. Over here, this is pinned in a folder I call ESL. This one here is different. You see, it doesn't have a straight up name on it. It says picked for. So this one is something that they're recommending to me. I don't have that already pinned, and they're recommending that I might want to put this in Pam's ESL class folder. I have a class that's run by Pam, and they're like, oh, you might want to put this in there because this is kind of relevant to that. So they'll make suggestions to you as well. Just like with Facebook, you know, they're checking what you've looked at already, and they're telling you what do they think might be good for you. Anybody have any questions about this part so far?
So this, is
Yeah,
this
yeah.
a personal account then that you pulled up?
This is the account that I use for work.
Okay.
So it's a personal account that I use for work. I have 2 accounts, one where I use just the letter J, and one where I have my name Julie. And so the Julie one has all the things at home, like the recipe for crock pot soup. But I thought that wouldn't be as cool to show you as the educational things here.
But how did these all get here then? Because you pinned some, and some you're saying are just suggestions.
Right. So when I logged in to Pinterest, all of this stuff popped up for me. So all of this stuff pops up automatically. When I want to find something on Pinterest, that search bar up at the top where the P is, that's the little Pinterest sign, this search bar is where you type in a term. Like, you know, what are some things that you might be into?
Cars.
Cars. Okay, so you could type in cars right up there in that top line, and you would get a bunch of pins about cars underneath. And I can pull it up and show you an example in a second if you want. This is a place where I have already put in ESL and teaching. And with those two terms, I got these pins that came up. And they're, you know, things that I can then put. The other people have used these terms to describe their pins. So they're in a folder that says ESL teaching on their pin boards, on their personal accounts. So since I asked for ESL and teaching, this person who has a folder called teaching, her pin popped up for me. Okay, so I asked for ESL teaching. Look, someone else has a whole folder called ESL teaching. So this pin popped up for her, from her. Now, so one of the things, you know, and I can take the scroll bar and scroll down, and there'll be hundreds and hundreds of suggestions, and you can look at them and all day long and pass hours. Another thing that's happening is, besides my search terms that are up here, is there are suggested additional search terms. So other people who've used ESL or teaching, you know, again, the machine has this wonderful system that it's called an aggregator. It's pulling all this data together. So, and other people who searched ESL and teaching also searched for these terms: adults, high school, kids. So they limited the stuff that was coming up by who their audience is. So they don't want ESL and teaching for everybody. They want it for someone specific. So do they want it for adults, high school, or kids? So if I add that search term here, it will again narrow my results and make them more specific and more relevant, right? So like for your cars, maybe you want American muscle cars, right? You don't want every car, you want American muscle cars. And maybe you want American muscle cars from the 60s. So you could type in cars, American, muscle, and 1960s and see what pops up.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah.
I did have a 60 muscle car.
Did you?
2 4-barrel carburetors.
I totally pinned you for an American muscle car driver. So anyway, then these are probably the most popular of the terms that you could add to limit. And then they suggest these other ones too. Oh, you might also want to consider limiting your search results by these terms, like activities or lesson plans or strategies. So that's kind of a fun thing. Now, you see what's different? See this one? This is actually from my home. This slide I generated when I was at home working on my Pinterest, on this talk. So you see here, I pop up as Julie, not Jay with the little invisible pin, and here the Julie has my photo in it. So that's my other identity. I have two.
They're actually two separate accounts?
Two separate accounts, yeah. Yeah, using two different email addresses. One is my work email address and one is my home email. Yeah, so that kind of gives you an idea too of how that changes.
What order do they come up with here?
That's a good question. How do they put what comes first? So again, Pinterest is an aggregator just like Facebook or Twitter. So the more people that have looked at it, the higher the search results will be. So the first things that come up are things that lots of people have looked at and pinned. And so, you know, like kind of like in Google results when you do a search on Google, right? So then you might, though, want to scroll down because sometimes, you know, on that second page of Google is really where you find what you're really looking for, right? So you gotta keep looking and go down a little.
And is this information from anything in the internet?
Yeah, it's all kinds of sources, and let's talk about that a little bit too. I think here I want to just review this part so you see all these things here. If you're going to pin something, right? So say you're looking at this page and you're like, oh, I found the perfect pin, and I think I had it here. So if you're starting here and you're like, oh, yeah, this is the pin I want, right? This one I want says it'll be good for Pam's class. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should put that in the folder for Pam's class. So I put my cursor on that one and I click it, right? And once I do that, this is the screen that pops up. It becomes a one picture image on the screen. And now it's telling you, is this what you want? This is what you clicked. Is this what you want? And now you can hit pin, right? So you put your cursor on this and you click pin. And it'll say, where do you want to put it? And it'll give you a choice of your folders. So you can put it in whatever place you want. And you can also click like and say, oh yeah, this is a good one, which tells the aggregator, oh yeah, report this as positive, and then more people might see it. And you can also click send, which would be, like in some cases, I'll have something that I want to email to myself or to a friend or to my sister or whatever, right? So this will give you the option to send this link that the pin is associated with to whoever you want to send it to. Okay, so what's going on with that link? Well, here's where the link is located. So this is the short form of the address of the link. This pin here is saved from StacySomethingCoaching.com. Okay, so somebody named Stacy who does ESL coaching created this lesson. And if I want to see this and see if it's really good, then I click visit. And that will take you out of Pinterest, open another tab, and take you to the website for this pin. So it'll go up here, it'll pop open another website, and then you'll be in this guide and you can look at it. Now, sometimes you have to do that to check. It may look really great, but sometimes you have to go actually visit the page because Pinterest makes its money, just like all the social media, by having ads layered in. And a lot of times the ads are, these websites are associated with a bunch of ads. So you're going to click this, you're going to go there, and it's going to say 5 simple ways to engage students with the first 5 minutes of a lesson. And then it's going to say, are you a teacher? Go to the Office Depot and spend your money at the Office Depot to buy supplies. And you're like, that's not what I came here for. Right? So, and then underneath it's going to say, the first simple way to engage your students is to look them in the eye. And you know, you're like, really? That's what you got for me here? So you're like, no, I'm not saving this pin. This is a dumb one. It's really about the Office Depot trying to get me to go to the Office Depot website, right? The next thing might be, use highlighters to highlight the materials the students are using. You can go to the Office Depot to buy them. You know, and you're like, okay, great, thank you. Meanwhile, you go back to Pinterest and you say, no, I'm not going to pin that. Thanks anyway. So you do have to check it sometimes and see if it's something you really need. A lot of times you'll know if it's good or not by looking at this little review down here. It'll say, I've used this. This is a good technique, or this pin really has something valuable. And that's reported by the person down here who is not this website, right? This is the person who pinned this thing. That's Kate Reynolds pinned this 5 simple ways. Okay, she's the identity. And this is something she typed in. So then this one here tells you when she did it, and so how old it is. If anyone else likes it, 3 people hearted it, so that's good. And then this one here, oh, it's hard for me to see. What am I looking at there? I think that's the 56th pin that she's done. So she's not a huge pinner, so that can be good. That can mean that, you know, she doesn't have 3,000 pins, so she's probably not working for somebody pinning every day, right? She's careful about what she likes. Okay, so we look through this, and the other thing about this ribbon, so this ribbon here tells you other suggested search terms, and this ribbon here shows you all the pins that are coming up for these. Your pins, this one would switch it to the ones that are related to my identity. This would be a list of these people, the pinners. If we go to this one and click on this button, we would see all these identities pop up, and then you could read more about them. And then this one is the boards that are associated with these. So the boards are, if you think of the, a board is another word in Pinterest, like for a folder. So if it's like if a pin is like a file and a board is like a folder. So it's a place that you've named where you're keeping those images and that. So they call it a board because it's like a pin board, right? But really, in terms of a structure or a hierarchy, that's what you're thinking, that's what you're looking at. Okay, so the other thing that is, fun with Pinterest, which is similar to Facebook, you know how if you don't log into Facebook every day, they send you a little notice that says, by the way, 450 people did cool things that you missed on Facebook, right? And they're like, come back, look again. So Pinterest does that too. But what's nice is if you are searching for certain things, if there are things that are relevant just to your work or to your interest, your hobby, they'll send you a list of things that are coming up as popular in those subject areas. So, for instance, at work, I got this email, and it said, oh, we found some fresh pins. These are the latest, coolest, hottest things we found, and these will be related to the stuff that I search on Pinterest at work, which is things related to school, classrooms, ESL teaching, etc. So, anything, though, that you might want to have a suggestion for visually, Pinterest is a good source for. Okay, any other questions? Questions about this part of it? No? All right, I'm flying through. I think that's all I got on my slide show here. I can go really quickly if you want to the internet and log on to show you if you'd like to see an example. Or you guys could call it up right now in front of you and play with it for a second. Okay. Okay, so this is my home page for home. You can see that's me at home. And clearly I am obsessed with recipes that have cheese in them. I also like cool dresses made from old-timey things. So things, odd things will pop up that you can't explain, like, why do I get a simple system that will keep your home clean? I have no idea. I don't need a simple system to keep my home clean. Thank you very much. Or the 14-day flat belly, whatever, that's just like an ad that's popping up. This one's crazy too. This one with the teeth. Promoted by Smile Care Club. See this one over here? So promoted means someone paid money for that one to pop up. That's pretty attractive, that big open mouth there, huh? So I wanted to show you this here. This one, this person, so there's a, what are we doing? Where did you go? Where did she go? There she is. Okay, this person here, Tracy Chan, she is actually a person who is paid to put things on Pinterest. So she is, you'll see her name pop up if you have any, like my interest here. I think I posted things for furniture, for, fixing up my living room. And so her pins pop up quite often on my page because she's a person who is paid to put things on Pinterest. So you follow this pin, and I think she works for like Crate and Barrel, Pottery Barn, someplace like that, because it'll often connect to those kinds of sources. So if you watch for names of people that are not familiar to you, but are showing up regularly on the page, those will be usually people that are trying to sell you something. So that's something to notice. Other people that who are friends of yours, like through your email or through Facebook, will also pop up. So this person here, Amy Boutel, she's a friend of mine, and she's an author, and she writes a historical fiction, and she often saves clothing that's related to the early part of the 20th century, because she's writing about the early part of the 20th century. So she's saving images of clothing that she might use in her book. So that's kind of fun. And then I have a couple of other friends who, like, this is a lady from my neighborhood, and she is super into crafts. And so she will always, I will notice her pinning things related to crafts. So she's a friend I hang out with, and she's like, oh, this looks like something fun. I should try to make that, And I'm like, yeah, good luck, Diane. You're making yourself crazy. Anyway.
Julie, did you actually pin those onto your Pinterest?
No, this is my landing page. Do you remember at the beginning where I was showing you that first page? So this is just what pops up just when I log in.
But how did your friends get on there? Like, they must know that
Yeah.
must have you
Sure.
connected.
So I find people that are related to me, and I add them as friends.
So it's
Like Facebook.
Okay.
Yep. So, and it will actually send you those suggestions, with, see, Diane Marr is a friend. This is me. So this is like my news page is what we're looking at now. Now I'm going to my page. These are things that I've pinned that other people have repinned. For instance, this person repinned, I think you could see this picture right here. Cindy Kilpatrick saved my pin. This is a pin that I put up, which again is a historic clothing photo. And so if I click on that, I can say, oh, what does Cindy Kilpatrick like? She liked that pin. Maybe she has other historical clothing that I want to look at. So then I'll go and see, oh, is there something on her page that connects to me, and I can follow the folder, basically the board that she has of clothing too. So, for instance, like maybe Cindy Kilpatrick's into American muscle cars, and she's pinned my photo of American muscle cars, right? And then I follow to the page to see, oh, does she have a bunch of American muscle cars pinned? Well, no, it turns out Cindy, I go there to look and see, are there other cars that I'm going to like and want to put on my board to say, oh, hey, this is my dream car someday. No, then it turns out when I get there, actually Cindy Kilpatrick is a romance writer who wants to write, a scene with people making out in an American muscle car, right? So she's pinned it for that reason. So you see, people have different things in there for different reasons, and you have to check it out sometimes. So this is messages. People sometimes can direct message you just like on Facebook. So you can see some of these people have pictures and some just have the red pin button, just like when I switched to being Jay at work. I don't have a photo in there. I'm anonymous. But when I'm Julie, I have my photo in there. So, all right. Well, that's about a rough overview of Pinterest. Do you have any other questions?
One last thing, how
Sure.
do you manage it? I mean, maybe you just want to have us, I guess I'm a little confused, but
Sure.
you have a folder, but you don't want all of this stuff. How do you, like, maybe you just want.
You don't want to look at all of these at once? Okay. So this is my page when I click on Just Julie.
Okay.
And so now I'm not seeing that news feed with all that cluttered information. Now I'm seeing just the things that I've pinned that are, you know, for me in my boards, which are like folders, right?
Oh, okay.
So I can make a new board by clicking here, or I can paste things. These are the things that I've kind of looked for or put on there. This is for a story I was working on, a novel I was working on. These are things, visual interiors and images that I was saving for, again, for inspiration. These are books that I want to read, or pictures of libraries that I admire. These are recipes I'd like to try. These are crafts that I think I could manage that aren't too crazy making. This is, if my house was really organized and awesome, that's what it would be like. These are gardens that I would love to have, you know, and they're examples of, you know, like this is a good one because, you know, it shows you that it's really about the visuals. Like these are things where I think, oh, that's cool. Maybe I could recreate that somehow. You know, oh, I've got a slope, how I could build stairs there, right? So, and I named all these boards myself. This is things that I see that are sometimes, you know, that are funny, and I've pinned them. You can go through and get lots of humorous slogans and sayings and things. Look at this one, missing. The tabs are all there. Get it? It's like, it's like goofy. Yeah, yeah. This one says, "How were you born?" And it's like, born to be wild. Born. It's like all those phrases about being born, and so they're just kind of so you can tear them off, but. So you can look at the top of this too, and you can see I have 10 boards. I've pinned 184 things. 11 people have liked my things. I have 51 people who follow me. Who knows why? And then I'm following 46 people. So I have, you know, most of these are friends of mine, but then a few of them are people where I'm like, oh, that person has a really good eye. I want to know about that, you know, when they post something. This was a board that I created for a project that I was working on, a work project. And this one gets a lot of repins because the images took me a long time to find. They were unusual.
These are ones that you see on Pinterest, but a lot of times I just Google because I have something I want to make, and it's a recipe and then I lose it because I don't pin it. How do you do that?
So,
Like, you know, allrecipes.com or something.
Sure, that's a great question. I'm glad you mentioned that. So do you see the little icon up here at the top? This is the Pinterest button. And you can add the Pinterest button to your ribbon at the top. So it's so that when you log on, I probably can't do it here because this is a shared computer, but you can go into your, I think it's in your tool bar, and you can add a Pinterest pin button to your normal browser you want. Right, yeah. So, and then it'll be right there. It appears like right up here on this side of your browser.
Okay.
And so when you find that recipe that you love on the internet somewhere else, you can save it straight to Pinterest by clicking on the P.
So then, once you click it, it's automatically in your Pinterest.
It'll pull up your Pinterest and say, what board do you want to put it on?
Oh, okay.
Right,
So
and then you'll say, oh, I want to put it in my recipe board.
all right.
You know, or I'm going to put it in my dinner recipes or my, you know, breakfast recipes or whatever, right? Let's do, this is all such girly stuff. I feel like I should do American Muscle Cars just for fun and see what we get. Ooh, look, how about, have you got a preference? Do you want Mustang, Chevy, Dodge, Camaro?
Dodge.
Oh, Dodge, all right, there we go. So, see, what's interesting about this too is look how they separated it. So it's American, Muscle, Cars, and Dodge. And you could eliminate just, I typed it all in as one thing, but you could eliminate one, like say, oh, you know what, I want to see Camaros too, so I'm going to close that out and then see what pops up. So you can X out and cancel one of the search terms, which is kind of cool. Look, and see, these then are the search terms that other people have associated with those 4 words. This is my favorite. Awesome.
Awesome.
Like, you want the awesome American muscle cars that are Dodges.
Right.
Isn't that great? That's pretty fun. Let's add awesome and see what happens. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that?
That's really neat.
Isn't that fun? So 12 tips to get the best sound in your car, promoted by Crutchfield. Yeah. But, you know, all kinds of great pictures, right? Holy cow, look at that.
Going for a whole day or two.
It could. That's why I said at the beginning, remember that time flies? It's a horrible time thing. Look at this one. Ooh.
Wow.
Wow, that is a garage and a half, huh? What a garage. See, that's what the person typed in. This person, Lisa Williams, saved this pin with this crazy garage to her folder called Hot Rides. And she made this comment when she put it in, and it was 12 weeks ago. She put in this comment, Dodge Charger, what a garage. I love that. That's very fun. Okay. Any other questions? Thought?
When you first set up then, because I just went in and put my email, you need to choose 5 topics because that'll be what they bombard you with at the beginning, right?
Yes,
Like
that'll be
anything
where they give you choices for what you love at the beginning.
at the beginning, and then you could start putting it into your own personal
Right.
folders. after
Exactly.
that, but at least that-
Those 5 choices then create your news feed, right? That first page where you'll start looking at things that are popular right now. So maybe it's food or clothing or hats or American Muscle Cars or, you know,
Okay.
whatever.
Oh, you're not limited to those icons that they show you the pictures.
No,
of.
no, you could pick other things, and you can type and add your own, and they'll
Okay.
find them for you. Okay?
Very interesting.
Ah, good. I hope you find something fun on
Really
Pinterest.
good.
Yeah, yeah. It's, you know, if you, last night you were at a meeting for jobs, you know, it's really useful for things like this. Resume design. How about that? Anything visual. It can give you ideas. Well, how do I want my resume to look? Here's a before and after. Transform your resume. Well, you can just look at this for ideas, right?
That's really nice.
Yeah, that would be great, huh? So there's that, and here's somebody who's suggesting best and worst fonts to use. And anyway, it just will give you ideas.
It's very good, like you say, for teachers. To
Yes.
see that you can find a
Yes.
lot of
And one of the things
really good.
that's come out of Pinterest, that's grown out of Pinterest, is there were so many teachers when it first started who got into it and were so excited about it, and they started posting lesson plans, like great ideas for activities and lessons and things that they were doing in classes that really worked with the kids. And they would post them just because, you know, they had done good work. And they want somebody to know, and they want other teachers to know, and they're, you know, just excited about it, right? Well, then other teachers start clicking on them and loving them and liking them and saying, oh, this is great, oh yeah, and then passing it on, and they get more and more popular. Well, then teachers cued into that, and a whole nother website called Teachers Pay Teachers started based on Pinterest. And basically what teachers do on that website is they post on Pinterest something that they've got that's pretty great, maybe a small thing that is great, and then they'll say, I have all these lesson plans, like maybe for Shakespeare or for, you know, how to teach math or whatever. And then they post those things on Teachers Pay Teachers. So they'll have a lesson plan for $1. Well, if 300 teachers all over the country buy it, they've made money. There was an article in the New York Times last fall about teachers who've made, you know, $100,000 by posting their lessons on this website, Teachers Pay Teachers. So that's what can be generated out of that sharing of information. You know, it starts off, yeah, isn't that cool? So it starts off with sharing your interest, sharing your passion, getting excited about it, getting other people excited, and then, you know, maybe you can make a profit on it, you know, monetize it somehow. So pretty cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.